Hi, good morning, everyone. We're getting started. Hello. I know everybody wants to keep talking. Can you hear me? Is it working? Thumbs up if it's working and you can hear me. Yay. Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 New Harvest Annual Cellular Agriculture Conference. Right? It is so exciting to be in a room of so many familiar faces again, particularly after the last couple of years. I'm so excited to see so many familiar faces. I'm also very excited to see so many new faces in the crowd. I think we're going to have a lot of really good conversations over the next couple of days. And I'm really pleased to be here kicking this off. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction to me for the folks in the room who haven't met me yet. My name is Kristin Ellis. I am a partner at Lowercarbon Capital. We are a climate-focused venture investment fund. We invest in companies that are reducing carbon emissions, that are removing carbon from the atmosphere, and that are buying more time for the people and communities on the front lines of the climate crisis. So as you can imagine, cellular agriculture plays a big role in our portfolio. And part of that is because many years ago, before I was doing any of this stuff, I got acquainted with Isha, and I got acquainted with New Harvest, and I got acquainted with the New Harvest community. And this is a group of people who are not afraid to ask the hard questions. We're not afraid to interrogate our own biases in this space. We're not afraid to dream big and think big and come up with wacky ideas and challenge each other. And so a lot of my learning that brought me to this place where I feel confident saying, you know what, yes, Lowercarbon Capital invests in cellular agriculture, is because of this community and because of spaces like this where we can gather together and have conversations that are sometimes difficult and are sometimes done against the backdrop of a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world. There's a petro-fueled land war in the Ukraine right now that is driving up food prices across the globe. Food security is an increasing issue for people across the globe. Cellular agriculture sits at the nexus of a lot of this for a lot of us. And so we're going to have some conversations against this difficult backdrop of market craziness, food system craziness, climate distress. But we're also going to have a lot of hopeful conversations here. This is a very optimistic space. We're problem solvers. Everybody here is building, thinking, doing in their own way, and so I'm so excited to share this space with you, and I'm excited to kick things off. So, a couple of things. Want to give you a little bit of an idea of how the run of show is going to go. So, today's whole theme is what the market won't solve. Then, tomorrow, we're going to get into interrogating the big questions. This elephant in the room theme is going to be present throughout. You're going to see a lot of the great work that New Harvest has seeded and helped happen in this space today and tomorrow. So stay tuned, lots to come. First thing we're going to do, though, for the people here in the crowd and for the people at home is we're going to have an interactive conference. So it's not just going to be people standing up here talking at you. You can ask questions. So a couple of things. If you open your registration packet that you got, New Harvest 2022. On the front cover, there is a QR code, and there's a page that says Join the Conversation. This is very important. So we are having a conversation here today. You're going to go to slido.com, or you can scan this QR code, and you're going to insert the code #NewHarvest2022 to participate. And to get us all used to doing this, we're going to do some icebreakers, which we all love, I'm sure. So I'm going to give everybody a couple of seconds to get logged into Slido. I'm going to do it too. I'm not going to leave you guys alone to do this work. How's everybody doing? Can I get some thumbs up for people who have gotten into it? Okay, great. Amazing. All right, so I hope the folks listening at home on the live stream will also do this. Okay, so I think the first question we want to put up is just to get a sense of where everybody in the room is joining us from today. So if you can type in where you flew in from. Where's everybody? Oh, very cool. Obviously a lot of people in Brooklyn. San Francisco, Boston, we've got Hong Kong, Germany, Mumbai, wow, Switzerland, Hoboken, represent. Love the tri-state area. Somerville, Scotland, Seattle, wow, Toronto, seeing a lot of Canada. Love our Canadian friends. Amazing. So it looks like, yeah, NYC, baby. Was that? I think I know who put that in. Okay, so very, very exciting to have, like, this is another thing that this reinforces for us, right? This is a very global audience. So we're very excited about everyone joining us from all over the world today. Okay, that was easy, right? Let's do one more, just to make sure we have our sea legs under us. Let's see. Second one. Give me like 3 words-ish about what you're most excited about for this conference. What are you most excited to learn about? What are you most excited to talk about? What conversations are you most excited to have? Which of our elephants in the room are you most excited to investigate? 3 words, just a few words. That's also going to turn into a word cloud up here as soon as it switches over. And/or, here we go. Okay, we've got some FBS. Scale up. I'm really excited. We're going to have a really great panel on scale up and scaling all of these processes. Waste management, open access research, right? How do we open source the knowledge in the room together? Bioreactors, saving the planet. Fuck yeah, love that. I mean, you know, small objectives. You know, we're talking about the easy problems here today. Scaling for cost, love that. Amazing. Look, there's so much to be excited about here. There's so much to talk about. I am personally most excited, I think, about, what am I most excited about? As a food category, I am most excited about cow-free dairy. I want my cheese and my milk with none of the methane emissions. I want to have it both ways. And I'm also very excited for the scale-up conversations and some of the open sourcing conversations. I think those are going to be really good. Okay, so we've all got our sea legs under us with Slido. We all know how to interact. I think I'm going to stop talking, and I think you've kind of got the lay of the land in the run of show. So the next person that I'm going to introduce, you should all know already, but I'm going to call Isha to the stage. Isha is the executive director of New Harvest. In many ways, it is her vision, her values, her hard work, her guidance, the team that she's assembled, the fellows that she has brought into the fold, the companies that she has advised, the difficult conversations and optimistic conversations that she has prompted all of us to have, that has brought us all into this community and into this place together today. I'm sure back in 2004 when this started, there actually weren't I don't think there were this many people to put into a room to think specifically about cellular agriculture. And now we're here, and even the people in this room today don't represent everyone who is thinking about and grappling with how do we secure a better future for the planet? How do we create more food for more people that is healthier and better and has a lower carbon footprint? And so I'll let Isha do most of the introducing herself, but I'm very excited to welcome her to the stage.
Thank you, Kristin. We are so lucky that Kristin gets to be our MC for so many years in a row. So hello, everyone, and welcome to New Harvest 2022. I can't believe it has been 3 years since we've done this last. It's absolutely insane. I actually wanted to give a little round of applause for the miracle of science that allows us to actually all be in a room today. You know, when we check our vaccination record up at the front, we are experiencing tech at scale affecting the public. So I'd love to just give a round of applause to that. We're all here because of bioreactors. So many of you know me already. My name is Isha. I'm the executive director of New Harvest, the nonprofit organization that has been building the field of cellular agriculture since 2003. And today we are gathered together collectively to reimagine a food system that is just and abundant for all. And there is no way that we could do that without acknowledging that we are situated on Lenape-Hoking, the traditional and unceded homeland of the Lenape people, past, present, and future. And acknowledging the land that we are on is acknowledging that the food system that we are part of today is neither just nor abundant for all, and perhaps did not intend to be. We're here today because we're hoping we can change that. We're doing things a little bit differently than past conferences. I don't know how many of you have been to a conference before. Maybe I'll do a little show of hands. How many of you have been to a New Harvest conference before? Okay, good. I actually love that we get so many new people in. Keeps the fresh blood in the room, or whatever the saying is. So we're doing things a little bit differently for this year's conference. So the purpose of these welcome remarks is to really orient you a bit to what's in store for the next 2 days and why. So let's start with the why. In 2020, before we canceled, we introduced a conference theme, the elephant in the room. And I need to speak to this a little bit because I got more than one text earlier this year from people saying, Isha, I'm at the edge of my seat. What is the elephant in the room? And I was like, there is no elephant in the room. Like, the elephant in the room is a prompt. There is no single one elephant in the room. It's something for us to get our, the juices flowing and talk about the things that we need to talk about, not talk about the things that we want to talk about. And since not everyone here may be familiar with metaphorical English idioms, I wanted to actually put a definition of the elephant in the room. So an elephant in the room, an obvious major problem or issue that people avoid discussing or acknowledging. But I actually like the Wikipedia definition better because I think Wikipedia is kind of spiritually aligned with us. The elephant in the room, an important or enormous topic, question, or controversial issue that is obvious or that everyone knows about what no one mentions or wants to discuss because it makes at least some of them uncomfortable, and it is personally, socially, or politically embarrassing, controversial, inflammatory, or dangerous. And I love this definition so much because to a lot of people, cellular agriculture is in itself controversial. It's inflammatory. It has the capacity to be embarrassing personally, socially, and politically, and the capacity to be dangerous. And it would be completely irresponsible for us to not think these things through early and try to work them out and find solutions. So why did we choose a theme like this? Well, we did it because we're the only group in CELAG that can. We're completely independent. We have no conflicts of interest. We know everyone. But I'm kind of joking, but we do know everyone. I like to think that we're friendly with so many people in this field, and I hope you all feel the same. But all we really care about is this tech being the best it can possibly be, having the biggest, most positive impact that it can, and for animals, people, and the environment to be most positively affected by cellular agriculture. And I think it can be confusing to some that New Harvest, on one hand, has been a booster for the field. I mean, we have advocated for CELAG, we've started some of the first companies, funded some of the first research, and it can be confusing that this group that has elevated the field so much also wants to look at it with such a critical eye. But we do this because critique is really, really helpful for igniting catalytic change. And we do this, again, because who else can? Now, we have seen some critique in CELAG before, and in my opinion, a lot of it is pretty easy to brush off. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And I think it's easy to brush off because it's really hard to be informed in cellular agriculture. There's not a ton of data out there. It's a pretty proprietary field. And so the critiques that we see seem to kind of come from the side. They feel more like emotional appeals to nature or appeals to the way the world works, or to science, or to health. But I think those of us in the field, in this room today, who think about this every single day actually know the real critiques. And if we have the right mindset, we can begin to chip away and address them. This has always been the root of New Harvest work. What are the big, big problems and gaps? And how can we, as a little nonprofit, chip away at them to make an enormous difference? So that's the why about the theme. Next is what's in store. So as Kristin said, day one, to be straight with you, is just a microcosm of New Harvest work over the past 3 years. We have some incredible speakers who are going to be talking about big problems like safety, infrastructure, and hopefully they'll also be sharing some insights in how to solve them. Day two is not so much about big problems. Instead, it's about big questions, such as, will cell ag actually be better for animals? Will it actually be better for the environment? And will it actually work? Now, at this point in time, I'm the only thing standing between you and this incredible program, which brings me to some elephants in the room for New Harvest. So in the spirit of radical candor, and at the risk of mentioning things that no one wants to talk about because it makes them uncomfortable, let's talk about New Harvest elephants. The main one is the question, how is New Harvest doing? Most of you, I imagine, saw the email we sent out a couple weeks ago about our financial situation that we're facing right now. And for those who didn't see that email, our runway is looking really short as we stare down a recession that many are comparing to 2008. And it's wild because the pandemic was a period of crazy growth for us. Our head count grew like crazy, both for our team, both for our researchers, and we explored all kinds of work that we were kind of unable to do during the pandemic. We were able to rally together companies to work on big field-wide problems during that time. But where that's left us today is with a bigger and better team than ever, but only 5 months of runway. And that runway feels really, really small when you contrast it to the size of our ambition. So if I were to put a price tag on our ambition, and if anyone wants to keep this number in their mind, we really want to raise $18 million for the next 4 years of work, because that is the size of the work that we can put to the test and start working on immediately to really get the ball rolling in cellular agriculture. So at the town hall tomorrow at 3:30, I hope you're all going to be present to brainstorm how are we going to make that happen. Hopefully we can think together, maybe people that we should reach out to, ideas for how New Harvest should operate so we can really extend that. Because I'd like to think that New Harvest isn't just the organization, isn't just the fellows, it's actually everyone in this room touched by the work that we do. So with that, I will pass the mic back to Kristin, our beloved MC, to get the party started.